Hey everyone, welcome to Buzzing About Romance. I am Becky, and joining me today for this episode is a whole different lineup than I think we have seen in forever. So, here with me for this episode is Heather. Hi, Heather.
Hello, I am still
You're still
alive.
here? I think we had you on. No, you were on back in May, I think, or end of
Was
April.
I?
Yeah,
I don't
maybe
know.
not for a Wednesday, but definitely for a Sunday.
Yeah, I'm here.
And then Lindsay's back. Hey, Lindsay.
Hey.
Are we not bowling anymore? I meant to ask this the other night.
No,
Okay, what happened to Bowling Link? Did you get kicked out?
I did not get kicked out. I just needed a break
Okay.
with work and everything. And then like TBD on the work situation, but like league was supposed to start again in summer. And I found out like Friday my work is potentially going to be like an absolute nightmare in like July and August. So I was like, I don't need this.
You're not about that life.
Mm-mm.
No.
Well, I am so excited you guys are here. Everybody else was busy and had life stuff happening, so Heather and Lindsay are here. This is so great. I don't feel like it's been forever since it's been just the three of us. So
I know. Yeah, fun.
we'll take it. We're gonna end this wedding season. We've been in wedding season for the last 6 weeks, and so this is our final wedding season review. It's been a fun month. I think we've read some pretty good books this month with the weddings. I don't know what it is about romance and weddings. Like, why, Heather, do the romance books, when they have a wedding trope in them, why do they just hit so much better?
I think people just in general like weddings, right? Like people really like to celebrate love, right? Like,
Yeah.
people are generally happy when they get married. You know what I mean?
We've had some messy weddings, though, this month, Lindsay. Like,
Yeah. I mean, they're also fairly memorable because there's like the gamut of weddings. Like some of them are just like super nice and super fun. And then others, it's like your friends have just thrown a curveball and you're like, who even are you people? Like,
so for something a little different for this last episode of weddings, we decided to review You're Cordially Invited, which that word, I don't know why. I was watching Jenna Bush Hagar this morning on Today's Show. She could not say unrequited.
Oh,
Like,
that's a tricky one. Yeah,
and I can't remember
I
the
really like
other one
her.
she couldn't do. And I was like, oh. And then as I sit here and I'm like, oh, cordially.
Cordially is
Cordially.
an interesting word. I will be honest.
Yeah. So this we are reviewing You're Cordially Invited. It's currently streaming on Amazon Prime. It is starring Will Ferrell and Reese Witherspoon. Who wants to tell us all the things before we start?
I will.
Okay.
Not sure the release date, but it was this year
Oh,
in 2025.
January 30th or 28th.
January 30th.
20th or 30th.
Okay, it was in January. We'll go with that.
January.
The tropes are wedding gone wrong, enemies to frenemies to friends, found family, forced proximity, fish out of water, second chance, letting go over the past, over the top side characters. It was like a really good cast. Will Ferrell, Reese Witherspoon, Geraldine Viswathan,
Yeah. That was
Meredith
his daughter.
Hagner. Okay, Meredith Hagner, Jimmy Tatro, Stony Blyden. And then, oh my God, Leanne, whatever
The
she's
sister?
yeah, so she's that Southern comedian who talks about like her mean daughters. Like, I love her. She's a
I know.
riot.
It was a really good cast. I do
Yeah, I
feel
agree.
like the casting was really well done. Now, I have
Hmm.
to ask this question because I'm curious. Are you a Will Ferrell fan? Do you tend to like Will Ferrell movies? Because I'm going to be whole honest here. He annoys the fuck out of me.
Leanne Morgan, Bonnie came in
I
and
love
clutch.
him so much. Like I love his movies an unhealthy amount. Um,
Like, do you quote like Step Brother and Talladega Nights and all that kind of stuff?
yes, I do. Don't
Yeah.
you put evil on me, Ricky Bobby. I say that like all the time.
Um, like My Man Blue, like that's what is
Old
that? Like
school?
old school
That
is
is,
like
I do like that
okay.
movie.
I
Oh,
like Will Ferrell.
An
Like
Elf.
Elf is like one of our favorites. You guys, I have teenage boys and I married a frat boy. Like,
Old School
you
is
know,
pretty funny. I do love that scene where he's running naked down the street and his wife's like, "What are you doing?" And he's like, "Streaking." And she's like,
mhm.
With who, honey? Nobody else is here."
My husband quotes Will Ferrell all the time. He's like, let's have a nice little day date. Let's go to Home Depot, maybe go to Bath and Body if we're feeling like there's some quote there and he loves it. And he's always like, oh, we have a nice little day date. We're going to the Lowe's and maybe we'll.
It's,
I'm not joking.
that's so
But
funny.
he was president of his frat. I this was my least favorite Will Ferrell movie.
Which is really funny because this is probably one of my most favorite Will Ferrell movies. But I feel like his character was definitely very different
Mm-hmm.
in this story than he is in the others. Like, he was
Mm-hmm.
manageable. Now, before we go any farther,
Manageable.
he was more manageable in this. Um, I didn't want to murder him. So I do have to give a shout out. So we group watched this together over in Discord on Friday night.
Okay.
And it was lovely. It was lovely. There were quite a few of us there, but my girl child, I had just started the movie. She comes out and she's like, "Hey, can I DoorDash ice cream?" It's like 9:30 at night. I'm like, "Whatever, you do you, boo." So she orders DoorDash and then she sits down and starts watching us with me. And then she has all the comments. And then we get to the alligator part where he brings the alligator into the hotel bedroom and Reese Witherspoon gets bit. I then get a lecture for a solid 20 some minutes about all the alligator inaccuracies.
Well, I think it tied into her show. So she is like a producer of
Yeah.
right? Is it Alive or Dead or something, right?
Well, but that was the alligator thing was he catches it in the water and
Yeah,
wrestles
it's
it
not
and brings it
realistic.
inside. It was so ridiculous. Anyway, so just so we all are clear in this review, the alligators things that happen are incorrect.
Oh,
There are
yeah,
lots
you
of
have to
inaccuracies.
suspend reality in
There,
a whole alligator stitch for
yes.
sure.
I mean,
Yes.
much of the movie, really.
Right. So the concept of the wedding is it's two weddings are double booked on the same small island venue. The family, the father of one bride and the sister of the other bride try to preserve the wedding weekend. Okay. So I have so many capacity questions, but also like
Oh yeah.
she talks about how her grandmother used to live on the island. So are there homes on the island? Why couldn't we rent out homes? Like, I also have bathroom questions because, like, there was not a porta potty in sight, but all those people were staying at that inn somehow.
I had a lot of those same questions, but I'm going to be honest. My main question was how could Reese Witherspoon potentially be the love interest of Will Ferrell? Because she's not as old as him. Like, in my mind, Reese Witherspoon is still like, Legally Blonde and Sweet Home Alabama. Like, maybe it's because her and I have not aged at all.
So,
Maybe
did you
that's it.
look it up?
No, I didn't. I don't want to
Okay, so
know,
Reese
Becky.
Reese Witherspoon is my age, 49. She was born in 1976,
Mm-hmm.
and Will Ferrell was born in 1967.
Okay.
So it's an age gap of about
I'm
9
like,
years.
okay. But still, Reese Witherspoon is not 49. Like, I know in reality she is, but in my mind, that's not even
So
real.
my problem was is like, so I missed. This was my second rewatch on this book.
Mm.
Lindsay, did you catch that it wasn't the sister who was the stripper? It was her intended was the stripper.
Oh, yeah. He was from Thunder Down Under.
Well, no, it wasn't. It was the southern version of Thunder Down Under. It
Okay.
was like Cox and something. He didn't really scream male dancer.
No.
Mm-mm.
Did he for you, Lindsay? Did he scream male dancer for you?
I don't think anybody in the movie screamed male dancer for me.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
So I would consider Reese Witherspoon kind of the rom-com queen of our generation. She
Mhm.
is the Meg Ryan character, and so that type of actress, and she is picking films and scripts that are a little more mature.
Mhm.
Does she still have it? Does she still have that rom-com queen-esque? Did you believe her as the love interest in this book, other than, or in this movie, other than she's still 29 and not 49?
Okay. Here is what I think of the movie. I think that they were like, at the end, it was sort of like, oh, why doesn't Will Ferrell and Reese Witherspoon's love, like, why don't those two just like fall in love? Like, it was never really like, I don't know. I just, it felt weird to me. It didn't feel like authentic.
I think I had the same thing. And I will say for me, it is that thing they do, like you if to do like hate to love like this or enemies to lovers, it has to be a viable storyline.
Mhm.
Otherwise, it's very much instantaneous the minute they get together. And like this just felt like sad. Like them getting together just felt sad. It didn't feel like purposeful. It felt like two lonely people who just couldn't bear to be on their own anymore. And I didn't really buy it. Like they didn't really have
I didn't
chemistry
buy it either.
on their fighting. Um, it wasn't a happily ever after I was rooting for. If it was a book version of this, I would have DNF'd it or
Oh
lit it
yeah.
because I would have been freaking pissed.
I did like the montage of his awkward smile that when the daughter was like, "No, he likes you." But I also felt like it was kind of weird that the daughter had to make the statement, "No, he likes you." Like
Yeah.
there should have been more clues that they were supposed to be the love interests.
Well, the way he behaved was also so juvenile. Like for somebody that age, what we see a lot with like older couple rom-coms, like I say older couple, but they're not even that old. Like they're not even old.
Thank you,
It but
Lindsay.
like
I
I was
agree.
thinking like Diane Keaton movies, like with like, they're in like their 70s. Um, like to me, like those have like a sophisticated element. There's comedy, but like they're compatible in some way. Like sometimes there's age gaps, sometimes there's not. But like usually you buy the storyline. But like here, there was just nothing between them. And they were
Well,
very like immature about the relationship for obvious reasons. I mean, I would have probably been psychotic if I were in that situation too.
so he acted like silly. Like, you know what I mean? Like super immature. And then she's like, "Oh, do you have a job?" And he's like, "Yeah, I'm the CEO of Delta." I'm like, "What?"
Well,
Like,
yeah, that kind of felt like it came out of somewhere of nowhere. But I know what you're talking about, Lindsay, with like mature couples, because do you remember the Diane Keaton movie, Because I Said So, with Mandy Moore?
Love that one.
And
mhm.
Mandy Moore is dating the Diane Keaton's love interest son. Like they're the ones that end up getting married. And you're right. There was like a sophistication about them coming together, you know, and about how they handled the relationship. And I don't buy that Will Ferrell was the CEO of Delta. Like that was ad placement if ever there was ad placement in a movie.
It felt like, for having such a great cast, I was like, "What is happening?" Like, they thought of all these funny scenes and then they just like placed it together.
I would have loved more with the daughter and her fiance, or even the daughter and the sister interacting, because, like, first of all, I looked at that daughter and she was so young, and I just am like, oh, she's so young. And
Mhm.
Sydney like looks it up and she's like, Mom, she's like 25. I mean, that's only 3 years older than Christopher. And I'm just like, shut your mouth. Shut your stupid, stupid mouth. We do not need that kind of negative talk in our lives.
Also, 25 to me feels like, I know that I was married at 26, but I had no business getting married. Like, I don't know.
I was married at 23 and we're together 26 years. I mean, it's not been exactly glamorous, but I'm fairly happy we did it.
Well, right, but it just seem so young.
Oh, absolutely. Like Christopher will be 22 next Saturday. And that's like he's the age in which I was engaged to met Michael. And yeah, yeah, I'm not sure dude washes his underwear. So like yeah.
I really liked the Reese Witherspoon's sister. I liked her fiance a lot. Like
Yeah.
he seemed very level-headed, like, married into this like crazy southern family. I think they did an amazing job like highlighting some of the crazy southern, like the four names like Evelyn Rose or whatever,
Right. Well, and her mother, like, I
Mhm.
loved the idea of that character that's judging you and you feel like you're being judged, but in really she's not judging you. You just kind of cut off communication. Um and Jen Ellen says in the YouTube chat, they wanted a slapstick comedy and broad strokes of characters and problems and nothing too deep. And I think that that is my biggest complaint on this movie is nothing was deep. Like there was not even Will Ferrell in like trying to honor his wife. But first of all, can we talk about the daughter husband or the daughter father song that they sang before we knew the history? I was like, that's awkward.
Islands in the Stream.
Yeah,
That was awkward. It was uncomfortable to watch.
it was very uncomfortable to watch.
I like that they let Margot have like the reactions normal people would have to that song in real life, where she's like, "This is so wrong."
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. I So was there any so Heather, you really liked Reese Witherspoon's older sister who was
Hmm.
like bored and desperate and lonely. I liked her
Hmm.
brother who does business for businesses about business. Because
Funny.
do not we all have someone in our lives who's like when you ask them what their job is, it feels like they say, I work for a business that helps businesses do business about business.
Or I work in consulting. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. What do you consult?
What do you consult on? Your pants color? Because I don't know.
The way he called his wife the wife, though, I was like, really, dude?
I
Really?
mean, I refer to my husband by both names, which apparently is very weird and makes some people feel a little uncomfortable.
What do you mean?
Like the fact that I call Mike Burrier Mike Burrier.
Oh, yeah.
That
Well,
bothers some people. They're like, "Do you not know your husband's whole name? Or you think we don't know his whole name?" I'm like, "I don't know. That's just his name. That's what I call him."
to his face?
Yeah.
Oh,
I'll,
interesting. Okay. Everyone, you do you, I guess. I don't know.
I yell at him. I yell his whole name. I don't know. Lindsay, what was it in this movie that was there anything in this movie that you did like that you thought was really funny and you enjoyed?
I mean, the whole thing was over the top. Like, I did enjoy the whole movie. It's definitely not my favorite Will Ferrell. It's probably, like Heather said, my least favorite as well. I thought the alligator scene was really funny, and then I also when he has the boat coming by to spray everyone, and the person in the boat misinterprets the no more as like one more, and then comes back and collapses the dock with
Mhm.
everybody in it. Isn't that during the wedding too?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Hmm.
when he's
Yeah.
supposed to be getting they just get on the dock.
Like, how can you fall in love with someone like this would have been so much better as just a comedy without the romantic element between them, because
Hmm.
like there's no redemption for that level of meanness
No.
between them.
I don't disagree with that. Um
Okay.
I did enjoy the the like him running out the clock on the sunset. Like I did enjoy that level of pettiness. Like
Hmm.
but I am that level of pettiness, so it kind of works for me.
Yeah, I liked that too. I mean, their banter was funny. I agree with Lindsay though. I think that it probably would have been better if it was just a comedy where they're like friends. Like To me, that just,
I
makes more sense.
did love like her bridesmaid that was supposed to be the wedding planner.
Oh my
That's
God.
like, I have anxiety, and they're like constantly correcting Will Ferrell that you don't go after women like that. And I just was like, I feel like I live this a
What do
little
you
bit.
mean? You're a wedding planner. I can't make phone calls. I'm like, oh my God,
Yes.
dude.
I
I,
live
I,
that in my life with the people that live in this house.
I fully understood it, but I also understood where Will Ferrell was like, huh? How, like, make this make sense? Like,
Yeah.
I think that actually just highlighted, like, not the phone call, like, because anxiety is real, but there's other things about them, like they're drinking White Claws, and like, it just highlighted their like immaturity, which definitely was what the
Right.
writers
Well, when they
wanted.
get there to the when they get to the wedding venue and they're like, and we're gonna do shots, like,
Hmm.
let's get settled. Um, I didn't love the miscommunication scene where the groom, like Reese Witherspoon's character, says, like, I saw
Uh-uh.
the groom kissing a bridesmaid.
That was very cringeworthy.
Yeah.
So I just really, I struggled with that scene a lot. Um, but like things catching on fire, going after the cake, like
Hmm.
I get it. I don't know. Some of it was just really over the top. One of the things that I
Yeah.
do like about this kind of movie is the big messy family, because who doesn't have a big messy family at a wedding or at a celebration? Like I think that was
Yeah.
the most realistic part. Like I have a funny story. It was my parents' 40th wedding anniversary, and my mom really wanted a party because she just, there were reasons, and ended up being really smart. So I have Mike and I throw my parents a 40th wedding anniversary party. We invite all of their friends in the community to come to this party. And I made like a special punch, and I used my mother's punch bowl, like this crystal punch bowl, but it's not even really a special punch bowl. She earned it with her points from when she sold Tupperware. So it's not like even some family heirloom. It is a freaking simple glass 1970s punch bowl. So we're cleaning up, and my aunt, my mother's sister, who my mom and she did not get along very well at this time in their lives. And my aunt's like, comes up to me and she's like, I see you used my punch bowl. I would like it back. And I'm like, huh? And my mother was like, I'll give you the fucking punch bowl, and was like ready to like throw it off the table. And it was, and I'm like, wow, I'm glad we're cleaning up. And they waited until later to come to fisticuffs.
Was she like, I use my points for Tupperware for this? This isn't
Oh, it was
yours,
a whole thing.
Barb.
And my neighbors were there. Her name was Doris. And my neighbors were there, and we like kind of separated them, and I'm like, this is not the time, you need to go. And my one neighbor, Tracy, was like, okay, Becky, I would pay money to watch your mom beat the crap out of Doris over the punch bowl. She's like, we could pay for Randlin to go on a trip. And I'm like, okay, we can, I guess.
Doris, come back. Let's fight about the punch bowl.
But who doesn't have messy family stuff like that at celebrations?
Yeah. Or people like how Reese Witherspoon was like downing wine. Like I remember that. Like just downing alcohol to
Yeah.
maybe make them shut up.
At one of my cousin's wedding, my aunt put all of the cousins at the table together and just literally brought us gallons of wine at a time. They
That's
were
a,
just like, we're not even gonna pour it in your glass and serve you. We're just gonna drop the cauldron right there.
it's a solid plan, actually.
People remember Mike and I's wedding because of the number of kegs that were tapped in the amount of time. Like 26 years later, people will be like, that was the best wedding we were at. It was like 6 kegs by 9 p.m. And I'm like, great, thanks.
My husband's aunts and uncles are dancing on the tables at our wedding.
Fun.
Yeah. Everyone's like, your wedding was so fun. And I was like, yeah, I don't. I'm glad you had fun dancing on the tables and they didn't break because then we would have had to pay for it.
I mean, there's a story where one of the groomsmen showed his piercing that was in his pants to different people, including aunts and mothers, out in the
Wow.
barn.
I'm a little sad I wasn't invited to that wedding.
It was a little wild. It had its moments. Um, so did you have a favorite moment? Did you have a favorite thing within this that you feel like we need to talk about? Or was there a character you loved the most?
Hmm.
I did think Reese Witherspoon's character had the most personal growth in
She
the
did.
fourth of. Um, I like that element that I felt like she got resolution to a lot of loose strings in her life, whereas like Will Ferrell, I don't feel like his character really got, I don't know. I feel like he was still a hot mess at the end there.
Mhm.
Yeah. Jen Ellen said, and we're just supposed to disregard all the damage done to the venue. Right. Well, Reese
Yeah.
Witherspoon's card was the one on file. So.
And he's the CEO of Delta, so I guess it doesn't matter. I'm not buying that. He lived in like Georgia suburbia. Like,
No, that's legit. I mean, it was a
That
smaller
is.
house. That is
Mhm.
legit there. Because Delta
Delta's a
Airlines
hub.
there,
no, I mean, like if you're the CEO of a company like that, you make like millions of dollars. Like,
you
why are you
do.
living in a suburb of Georgia?
No, that's where they live, is
Like,
the suburbs of Georgia in Atlanta.
but they have like mansions in the suburbs, and he was just
Yeah.
living in like a normal
He
house.
was. Yeah.
I also just feel like, would he not know that, like, if he was the CEO, wouldn't he be like, here's the credit card to use for my daughter's wedding?
He did.
Like,
He says that to the bridesmaid. You had credit card. Why didn't you pay this stuff?
or PayPal or venue or something. I was
Yeah.
like, I'm sorry. Like, yeah, that whole part, I guess, to me, like, I don't know.
Oh, Jen
It
Ellen
was
I
odd.
says it was his home with his wife way
Hmm.
before he became the CEO.
Okay, that makes sense. The other thing that doesn't make sense though is he would have had a personal assistant. And I'm sorry, but if you were really that in your daughter's business, like your personal assistant would have been checking up on every single thing that bridesmaid was doing. Like,
Right. No, I
I
don't
can see
disagree with
like a
that.
guy not, but like I can see him having someone like he hired to like double check and make sure. Because like I don't think anybody in there, I don't really think anybody would trust.
Yeah.
That's a lot of responsibility for someone that young. And yeah.
So
Anyway,
Rotten Tomatoes sits at 47% on the critics' approval. They praise the book or the movie for warm moments and slapstick, like the alligator gag, but ding it for formulaic plotting and tonal whiplash, which I do agree with this. There is tonal whiplash because it feels like the switch from, oh my God, I hate you. Oh, great, you got bit by an alligator, which apparently very inconsistent if you ask the girl child, to like we're best friends and in love.
Yeah, and the sister's stripper husband, soon to be husband, was a medic in the army, but is now Thunder from Down Under.
Well, and he gave blood from a pregnant person. And then Sydney just kept saying they'd have to go to the emergency room. Her arm would either be broken or at minimum, even if it was just a gash, bacteria, mom, bacteria. Like you'd need some antibiotics.
Oh, yeah, and like, yeah, there's a whole bunch of things. Like, I love my brother, but I also don't think that I'd be like, yeah, just hook me up to him to give me blood.
Yeah.
I'd be like, let's like medevac me out of here, or
Right. Right.
and the
Okay.
so
dock not being like safe, where the guy's like, I don't want to get married on the dock. It doesn't look safe. And I'm
But he's blood to blood. It's fine. Um,
you
Lynn's.
know
lots
what this
of stuff.
movie reminded me of?
Hmm.
Megan Quinn books. There's just like a lot of jam-packed random elements in it that don't really add to the plot in any kind of way.
Megan
And they
Quinn,
don't
is that
really
what you
like
said?
make sense. Yeah, Megan Quinn. And the things don't make sense. Like there's so much that doesn't make sense. And it's like if you can read it and suspend all reality, you'd probably be fine. and any expectation that the characters will have, you know, an ounce of communication skills.
I felt like it
Very,
was Pippa Grant. That to me, it was Pippa Grant. There was so much chaos, so much extra that was unnecessary, unneeded. The characters are never fully fleshed out. You sit here going, "Huh, really?" And to me, it reads like a Pippa Grant book.
And the fact that they got all of these really great actors and actresses to buy into this was shocking.
Yeah. Okay, well, let's do our thumbs up, thumbs down. So, Heather, would you give this movie a thumbs up or a thumbs down? Thumb sideways.
Yeah, I mean, like, whatever.
yeah. I'm thumb sideways too.
Some side. I liked it the first time I watched it. It is not something to watch a second time. Once you've lived it, you've lived it. I would say for something funny to watch, it works. But just don't go in with a whole lot of expectations. It's mindless. It's something you can sit there and have playing in the background, or if you just need something on to keep you company, it works for that. So did you have any books that you think have similar vibes to the movie? So I'll give you mine. I went with messy family kind of vibes, messy wedding family stuff. So 2 Weeks Notice by Whitney G. The Unhoneymooners by Christina Lauren. The Worst Best Man by Mia Sosa. For All Time by Jude Devereaux. Swoon by Lauren Rowe. Hooking Up by Helena Hunting. That's the one where the groom of the bride is getting a blowjob in the closet during the wedding reception. It's very funny. The Wedding Date by Jasmine Gilroy and To Have and Hold by Lauren Lane. And those just all have really messy family drama at weddings. Lindsay, did you have any?
Yeah, is it I think it's the Earn Your Extra Credit one by Megan Quinn where they're like at the wedding and it's like a whole disaster. Very similar. Like this movie reminded me a lot of that book.
Okay.
Where it's like very much at the end you don't even believe that they ever want to be together.
What about you, Heather? Did you come up with any?
I didn't.
No.
I don't read much rom-com.
That's okay. Okay, so I put together mixtape songs for our mixtape challenge. So because you guys listened, watched the movie, listened to this podcast episode, you can use it as an entry to summer reading if you want. So here are some songs that you might have on your mixtape that have this vibe for this movie. So Just Like Heaven by The Cure, Speechless by Dan Pleshay, All Too Well by Taylor Swift, the 10-minute version, Raise Your Glass by Pink, Shut Up and Dance, Walk the Moon, and then bonus tracks, Love Me Like You by Little Mix and Marry You by Bruno Mars. Those were my songs. Do you have any songs for the mixtape? What do you got, Lindsay?
Hot Mess by Cobra Starship.
Perfect. That's a good one. It's a very good one. Okay, so that is a wrap on this week's episode. We hope you enjoyed our deep dive into You're Cordially Invited. We will be back Sunday night at 9 p.m. on the YouTube. But we start our summer schedule. So, this was our last Wednesday episode for the summer. Make sure you subscribe to our newsletter, follow us on all the socials. We will drop some random fun episodes throughout. Probably most of it will be over on Patreon and Patreon content. But we'll announce when we're coming back, what we'll be reading when we come back. I think all of us are hoping to spend the summer kind of updating our reading lists and books that we recommend. So just again, make sure you follow us on socials, sign up for our newsletter. You can do that over on our website. I think that's everything. Did I miss anything, guys? Okay.
All right.
Until next time, everyone, happy reading.
Find us on Instagram at Buzzing About Romance or on Twitter at Buzzing Romance. If you like the podcast, please leave a review. If you'd like to support us directly, join the Bookcase and Coffee Patreon and receive exclusive content only available to Patreon members. Check out bookcaseandcoffee.com for our on-the-shelf show notes.